it's kind of loud, I guess. My computer being on. Does that help? No. No, it does not. Maybe it's because I have the air on. I feel like there's a lot of background noise today. I have the window closed in here. Maybe I'll figure it out at some point. So today is going to be the fire signs. That's going to be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Hi, Aesthetica Celine. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Let's see if I can adjust that just a little bit. I think that should be okay. But I'm not sure where all of that background noise is coming from. It's difficult to say. So I'm going to be using the Marigold Tarot for the readings this week. And over on the members side of the channel, I'm going to be using this slab of moss agate. It reminds me of wintergreen. Wintergreen. I really like the way that it's kind of marbled in that texture. So I've been posting a lot more to TikTok. I've cut up some of the videos that previously I've aired here on the channel. And I'm also doing some original content over there. I think my handle is VergeXBliss, VRGXBLS. It might just be VergeBliss. If you are on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, then don't worry about it. I'm certainly not trying to encourage anybody to join TikTok. So let's set our intention for the reading today. I have this white candle, and it is a wonderful lavender vanilla scented candle. Oh, no kidding. Hi, Kayla's lovely. I would love to know what you think of it as a platform. I never want to see any of the For You. I only want to see the people I'm following. So go ahead, set an intention for the reading, fire signs. And if there's any energies that you've been holding on to this week, I know we're only in Tuesday, but stuff can happen over the weekend too. If you would like, take some deep breaths and just pretend that you're blowing out the candle. And remember what I've said in previous videos, that the divine spark burns within every flame and within us all. So as you blow, just release any of that tenseness, any of that negative energy, and imagine that you are blowing out the candle. And another one. Take a deep breath in this time, if you didn't before. And imagine that breath as the oxygen infiltrates every cell of your body. Imagine that at the very end of that electron transport chain, every molecule, every atom of negativity is being attached to that carbon dioxide and carried right out of your body with your breath. And one more. Let's do one more deep breath. One more deep breath. And this time, I want you to make a wish. Just like it's your birthday and you're blowing out all of the candles on your cake. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Great job. Yes, I think, honestly, Kayla, I think that most people who are on TikTok are on it for business reasons. I guess some people go on there to clear their mind and relax. But I've heard a lot about content houses. And of course, there's all of these musicians now who are making TikToks about how their label is forcing them to make TikToks. But we don't really need to talk about that here. That's enough talk about TikTok. So let's get into the readings. And this card, right off the top, we have, this is just for the general energy, because it kind of floated out of the box while I was playing with the box. We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. So if you have been worried about something recently, fire signs, I think that your time of worrying is going to come to an end very soon. Or perhaps even that anything that you thought you needed to worry about, you don't really have to worry about at all. So I'm going to start with the sign of Aries. This could be sun, moon, rising. Could be an Aries Taurus cusp. It could be, you could have your Venus in Aries. You could have your Mars in Aries. You could just be curious about Aries energy. Maybe it's related to whatever house you have Aries in. And Aries, if you'd like to set your intention for the reading, if you haven't done so already, just allow those thoughts to rise up to the forefront of your mind, and we'll address them in the reading. We've already done the breathing exercise, but if you want to breathe through that energy, I trust you to know how to do that. Oh, interesting. Interesting reading so far. Hi, Jason. How's it going? It's good to see you. So, Aries, let's look at your cards here. Yeah. I had put my pen somewhere else. Oh, yeah, that song. She's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. June 7th. Talk about Aries starting at 11:15. Oh, we're getting kind of a late start into the readings. I didn't think the intro was that long, but here we are. I guess I moved my computer around. All right. So, Aries, here in the past for you, we have the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Rings. The Four of Pentacles is about conserving your resources, holding on to your energy, even. Sometimes it's important to conserve. This could even be about saving water. Could be about a time when you had saved up a lot of resources. And this card being in the upright in the past shows me that those resources are still available to you now, here in the current situation. The Four of Rings, Four of Pentacles can also be about holding on to things and how you hold on to things. Holding on to memories, holding on to ideas, writing things down. So that also represents the kinds of material or resources that you could be bringing into the current situation. And then somebody is getting an offer to move for sure, because we have the Page of Cups here and we have, the Six of Rings. Okay. So maybe not an offer to move. I thought this was the Six of Swords. Sorry. But the Six of Rings is more resources. So let me put all of these cards together. You've conserved some of your resources and you're bringing that into the current situation. And now you're getting an offer, and it has to do with more resources coming in. The Six of Rings here doesn't necessarily have to be like the best job that you've ever had, but this is a job where you're going to be able to save money and without a lot of duress. Like, you're not going to have to squeeze every single penny to get savings accumulated. And that Page of Cups, of course, is an offer, and this is in the place of the significator. So you could be making an offer to someone else, or they could be making an offer to you, represented by this orange kind of falling out of frame there. Now, the Page of Cups can be an emotional offer, but it can also be an offer of a business proposal. The Page of Pentacles is usually more just a job offer, but Page of Cups can involve your finances as well. Here in the Imam Silai, so the Imam Silai is the foundations upon which the goal or destiny, which is up here in the midheaven. The Imam Silai is the foundation upon which that is going to be built. So down in the Imam Silai, we have the Ten of Swords, and this card is reversed. So there could be something that needs to end and is not currently ending, or this could have been a narrow miss for you, Aries. that there was almost a really dire and painful ending. This could have been a close call as far as an accident is concerned as well. But doesn't have to be quite that dire. But it would be something that was a really close call, and you ended up pulling it out of the fire um, just in time. Now, from your perspective, we have the Ace of Wands, and it's showing up in the reverse. So, the Ace of Wands is a card about your power, your energy, your potency. It is a card of masculine fertility. Sometimes, when the Ace of Wands is reversed, it can be about impotency, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. Sometimes, when the Ace of Wands is in the reverse, you are surrendering your power in situations. The Ace of Wands in the reverse could also mean that you feel like at this time, Aries, that it's not the proper time to act on something, that it's not the time to put your energy into a specific direction. From an outside perspective looking in, we have the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords can be about strategy, and it can be about perceived treachery or treason or betrayal. So, where we see this from an outside person's perspective, and it's in the upright, somebody around you might perceive that some action or inaction on your part is meant to manipulate things in your favor, but I don't necessarily see that being the case. What I see is that there was a very close call here of some kind, that something very easily could have ended. But be aware that there might be people around you who do not understand how close of a call that was. And they might think that you're just trying to manipulate things for your favor. However, I don't really see that being the case. For example, like let's talk about you possibly not acting on something. Sometimes when there's an offer being made, people might think that you're like holding out for more money, possibly, or something like that. But maybe you were really close to getting kicked out of a living situation. Maybe a parent had a health scare. All kinds of things can be a reason why you might not have acted on something immediately. But it's not necessarily that you're trying to manipulate the situation. Just try to be transparent with people if you can. And if you're being transparent with them and they are not returning the favor, that may kind of be a self limiting situation in the long term. Because in the future, we have the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is showing up in the reverse here. So this could go a couple of ways. This King of Swords is heir of air energy and can sometimes serve as the minor arcana analog of the Justice card. Additionally, the King of Swords could represent somebody who is very open minded and able to navigate morally gray situations quite easily and efficiently. So, this could be a person, or it could be a situation involving the fairness and equity of something. So, if this involves the fairness and equity in a situation, it might be that in the future that doesn't play out to the fairness of all. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad for you. This isn't quite the same as the Justice card, and especially because we have that Seven of Swords coming out here. Something might even be swayed unfairly to your favor, Aries. And I say that because of the other swords that we have here, which is the Ten of Swords in the reverse, and then the Seven of Swords. You did have savings, so if this was a job offer and they're offering you a lot of money and they don't understand why you're not taking that job offer, it's not like you needed to jump right into something new. The King of Swords, if this represents a person coming into your life, the reason this card is in the reverse might be that you have not yet met this person, or even a step beyond that, that the circumstances under which you might meet this person have not yet materialized. And that King of Swords could be somebody who's a mentor, could be somebody who helps you make changes in your life, a guru. It could be a an employer. If this is an employer, this would be an offer you haven't gotten yet. So this would not be this current offer that's on the table, if that makes sense. This does look like a very good offer that you're getting here with the Page of Cups and the Six of Rings. Whether that's a job, whether it is an opportunity, maybe even for, like an art show and you get grant money for it. But whatever it is that has kept you from acting on this, I don't think that ship has sailed. I don't think that ship has sailed just yet. But do keep in mind that people might misunderstand the reasons why you haven't been forthcoming with them. Here in your hopes and fears, Aries. We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So look at how we have these things laid out. The Knight of Wands is fire of fire energy, and it's in opposition to the placement of that Ace of Wands, where we're looking at the your perspective on the current situation. So there's a lot going on with you right now as far as not wanting to act on things. And it could be because there was a really close call with something, that Ten of Swords. So, to me, it seems like there might have been that you had to move all of a sudden, or there was a health scare, or there was, even like getting into a car accident and losing your car. I certainly don't wish any of these things on you, but the outcome would have been that it was a very close call, and it might have made you very nervous about acting on certain things. Now, whoever this King of Swords person is, somebody who's able to rationalize and think through things fairly is going to understand. Somebody who is incapable of navigating morally gray territory is not going to understand why you might be holding back on this situation. Let's look up here at the midheaven. So this is going to be the outcome of this close call, or this ending that didn't end, with the Ten of Swords in the reverse. So even though it was not a painful ending, a new cycle is beginning. We have the Fool card, which is the ultimate beginning. And the Fool card travels very light. So you'll be casting off any of the baggage that might be associated with things that you've been through previously. And so we're going to talk now about, all of this fire energy in the reverse for you, Aries, with the final outcome card. The final outcome card can give you extra little tidbits of advice going out of the reading, and it can kind of tie up some of these loose ends, if there are any remaining. And we have the Hanged Man here. Now, the Hanged Man, in contrast to the Knight of Wands and the Ace of Wands, is elemental water energy, the representative of elemental water energy in the major arcana of the tarot, and is also associated with the planet Neptune. Okay? So, where we have this card coming out in the final outcome, I don't think that you're totally unjustified in waiting. I do think whoever has this idea that you're doing so because you're holding out for more money or that you don't have good intentions by holding out, that's their own problem. This is a sacrifice that you're willing to make. They do say that what is right for you will never pass you by, and that may very well be true in this case. The Hanged Man, I think, here is encouraging you to hold out a little bit longer, because you do have these resources that you've accumulated. And it could even be not that that they think you have ulterior motives. These people could have ulterior motives for trying to bring you on very quickly and trying to offer you a very attractive salary. And the closed call could be not taking the offer. I don't think it's a bad offer. And I do think that it's possible it could turn out being a really good job. But you're going to have to go into it without a lot of preconceived notions, for one. And then also that it might be to your benefit to hold out for just a little bit longer. How much longer are we talking here? I think you'll feel when you're ready. If you feel ready, go for it. This Page of Cups, again, it could be a job, but it could be a relationship offer. It could be someone offering to have you move in together so that you're sharing living expenses. Make sure that you uncover any of the ulterior motives that could possibly be going on. And the final thing that I have to say about it is that the reason that the Hanged Man is sacrificing himself in this way and remaining in stasis is because it is for the benefit of all involved. Whether or not it directly benefits him greatly, everyone involved in that particular situation, it turns out for the best. So that is going to conclude my Aries reading for the week. Now, after I finish the fireside readings, I'm going to go over to the members side of the channel and I'm going to do some crystal scrying with this slab of moss agate. And additionally, I will answer questions for the channel members. So if you are interested in that, you're cordially invited. But your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated, no matter what form it takes. And if you throw me some money via Super Chat, I am also more than happy to answer your questions between these lines. Sorry, I knocked the box over. I hope that wasn't too loud. So now we're going to move on to the sign of Leo. And again, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars. I'm a Leo Sun, and then I also have my Mars in Leo, and I think they're in different houses. Like, I think my Sun is in my 12th house, and I think that that Mars is in my 11th house. Which kind of sucks when you're making friends, honestly, because people who don't immediately appreciate your greatness are then incredibly turned off by your larger than life nature. But Leo, if you want to set your intention for the reading, if you haven't done that already, go ahead and allow those thoughts to rise up to the forefront of your mind. And then additionally, if any of these things are making you uncomfortable, we did do a big breathing exercise at the beginning of the video. But you can also gently breathe through those energies. Don't hyperventilate, of course. Just take gentle breaths in and then blow all of it out. Okay. Interesting. Oh, incredible. Am I hungry again? How is that possible? I just ate. I went on a big hike. So before I get into the Leo reading, I just wanted to mention that I got a new job and that there are awesome hiking trails around the property where I work, and I've been going hiking for like an hour every day after work, and I just love it so much. It's like the hottest part of the day. Hi, Maria. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. I do have this sugar-free candy. So I'll pop one of these in my mouth. This is not a sponsored video, but this is Dr. John's Healthy Sweets. These are the ginger hard candies. Oh, you're training? Heck yeah. Go get 'em, Maria. Can't catch you, huh? I go very slow when I hike, and I drink lots of water. So now I'm going to write the timestamp for Leo. So if you want, you can skip all the chit-chats. Leo, here in the past, we have the Queen of Swords. And she's showing up in the upright, which lets us know that beginning in the past at some point, you began speaking your truth. you began speaking into existence what it is that you want. What is it that exists in your reality? Anything that is skewed, anything that people are getting not quite right about your reality. The Queen of Swords comes out and says, well, now wait a minute. That's not quite right. Very unapologetic. Firm, but fair. Now, here in the current situation, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse. And that is crossed by the Ace of Cups. So this is kind of a complicated energy because it's showing up in the place of the significator, which usually represents you in the reading. But what this represents to me is that the Page of Wands here is all the people who can't quite hack it with the new you. It's not really the new you. It's just the you who is speaking up about what they want and what they will tolerate and stand for. And that's crossed by the Ace of Cups. So your new emotional state. The Queen of Swords is air energy, an active energy, but the queens are also water energy. So we're tying in that emotion to the logical suit of swords, to that logical air energy. That passive energy of the air balanced by, or the passive energy of the water balanced by the active energy of the air. Being able to really articulate emotionally what your requirements are. And that's going to be crucial for you. So here in the MMCLI, the MMCLI is the foundation upon which the destiny is built. So down at the bottom, we look at the MMCLI, and then up at the top, we look at the midheaven above the place of the significator. And down in the MMCLI, we have this Six of Wands in the reverse. Now, this is like an imminent victory, but it's not here yet. It's something that you are waiting for. It's a victory that you are anticipating and you're not quite sure why it hasn't come through. As far as like this Queen of Swords, is clearing the path with that big sword, just laying to waste all these pages of wands in the reverse who are just not ready to hang with your energy. And of course, it's not necessarily, I guess the best way to say it is what it is. Like I had just said going into this reading, my Mars is in Leo, and I believe it's in my 11th house. I would need to look at it again, but I think that my Sun and my Mars are in different houses. So when I am encountering new people, if they are not immediately won over by my whole presence, they have the potential to be incredibly turned off by it. It's like licorice, right? Or the Grateful Dead. You either really, really love it, or you're like, get that away from me. And that's kind of what's going on for you right now, Leo. And at the same time, possibly because of, possibly not even related. We have this situation where you were anticipating victory and it hasn't come through for you yet. That doesn't mean it's not going to. From your perspective, Nine of Swords in the reverse. You're not too worried about it because what is meant for you will never pass you by. And of course, like Mars and Leo, licorice is going to keep being sold. Not everybody has to like licorice for it to be a marketable commodity. From an outside person's perspective looking in, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. So people might perceive a lot of potential in you for financial growth and proliferation, for the growth and proliferation of material things for you, Leo. But they can't quite understand why you're not able to latch into this and suck it dry, right? Why can't you see what I see about you, right? And I only speak to these things partially from my own experiences. So there could be, some conflicting energies here where you're like, I don't know why it hasn't come through yet. And other people are like, oh man, I don't know either. Why can't you just wave your magic wand? You're so magical. You're so amazing. I think you're amazing. Why doesn't everybody else think you're amazing? The truth is, there's going to be a lot of people out there who just are not going to get it. Even if you are wielding it like a sword. And you are in the process of clearing all of that out of your realm of existence. Because in the future, what I have for you, Leo, is this wonderful fixed sign energy card, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter in the major arcana. And along with Jupiter, you can get Pisces energy and you can get Sagittarius energy, fellow fire sign. Mutable energies, interestingly enough, for a fixed sign card. Why is the Wheel of Fortune fixed sign and mutable at the same time? Well, let's look at a similar card, the World card. I'm not going to bother finding it. You guys know what the World card looks like. The World card is also fixed sign energy, and that is the completion. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of like the Ferris wheel, and it is the upswing of that Ferris wheel. So it's mutable because it is in motion, and it is fixed because its motion is inevitable. And in the future, it's going to be turning to your favor. Now, up here in the hopes and fears, Leo, we have the Two of Swords in the reverse. You might be afraid that you're not going to get to make the choice. Or you might think that the choice has already been made. And that would be why you're not worried about it. Because if the choice has already been made, then you don't have to continue to worry about it. And there's no point in worrying about it, whether there's a choice to be made or not. The choice is almost it seems like it's not so much a choice as a necessity. So in this case, the Two of Swords could be you feeling like your hand has been forced, that you didn't have a choice in the matter, that you had to come out swinging in order to get your point across. And this doesn't even necessarily mean that you had to be aggressive about something. It just means that you had to be true to yourself, and you had to speak that truth, and you had to speak it definitively, which doesn't mean you needed to be aggressive. It just means that you needed to be resolute. Now, in the midheaven, it's going to be the result of this Six of Wands being in the reverse down here in the Imam Sili. So if you feel like victory has not yet come to you, you will be coming into your power as the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a card that is heavily associated with Leo, can also be associated with Sagittarius and Aries as well. I always see the Queen of Wands very strongly as Leo energy, but that's probably just my bias. In this reading, this definitely would be you in the future. So we're moving from the active energy of air to the active energy of fire. And that passion and that creativity, that sparkle, that charisma, everyone is going to be able to see that shine through. So where right now people aren't sure why you can't seem to turn a profit with what you're doing, and you can't really seem to understand why this victory isn't coming in for you, it's important to change your perspective, because what you really have here in the future becomes this, the Wheel of Fortune, right? And where in the current situation people are perceiving you like this, in the future you realize that this is the truth of the matter. The final outcome card for you, Leo, in this reading, and I almost said Aries because of what card it is the Emperor in the upright. You are going to be sovereign. You are going to have control over your own life, financial and otherwise. So not just that financial stability and proliferation from the Queen of Pentacles. Now what we're seeing is the ability to make the call, the ability to craft the dynasty, the legacy that you want to leave far into the future. So that is going to conclude the Leo reading for this week. I'm going to be going after the fire sign video has concluded over to the members side of the channel, and I'm going to be doing some crystal scrying with this moss agate, and I will also answer questions for the channel members over there. But if you want to throw me some money in the super chat in this video, I will answer questions for you as well. But of course, your participation in the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. Thank you. So now, let's do the sign of Sagittarius. Now, the Sagittarius reading last week was very emotional. I hope that you guys are doing much better this week. And of course, these are general readings, so obviously not everybody is going to resonate with every single reading. So regardless of who that reading was for, I do hope that this week is going better than the last. Sagittarius, if you would like to set your intention for the reading, and just allow your thoughts about the situation to rise up to the forefront of your mind. Oh, thank you. And Maria, I'm glad to hear that. And Jason, thank you for your support. You've been a channel member for a long time and a Patreon supporter before that, and I really appreciate it. I know we don't talk very much. All right, let's see what's going on for you, Sagittarius. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Sagittarius is going to get to take a nap this week. All right. So it's not all sunshine and roses, but there's a lot better stuff going on this week than the last week. Okay. Okay. So, here in the past for you, Sagittarius, we have the Knight of Cups showing up in the reverse. It could have been that you needed to trust your intuition at a point in the past. Oh, geez, Louise. Hello in Great Britain. It's good to see you. Hopefully, parts of this video will put you to sleep. At some point in the past, it might have been necessary for you to trust your intuition over your logic, but the time for that has passed. It could have also been that you're leaving some of your more reactionary emotional responses behind. I'm so incredibly grateful for my viewers. You guys are really wonderful, and it's great to have you around. So, here in the current situation, we have the Five of Swords in the reverse, and it's crossed by the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Rings. So this is good to see this week, Sagittarius. This Five of Swords in the reverse is going to be an end to conflict. And that is coming with the resolution of a financial cycle This can also be setting up for things in the future. Financial stability that extends past your generation. The legacy of material goods that you leave for future generations. So far I see for you, Sagittarius, that some of these emotional things are wrapping up, some of the conflict is wrapping up, and things are headed in a much more positive direction for you this week, in the direction of your legacy. Down here in the Imam Silai, this is the foundation upon which the destiny will be built. And that is the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords is about rejuvenation. It's about getting adequate rest. So I do encourage you at this time, Sagittarius, if you are not taking care of yourself, that you do so, because that is going to set up the foundation for your destiny. We'll be looking at that in the midheaven. From your perspective, Four of Swords is nap time. That's why there's so many in my videos, because it's an ASMR channel. So I'm always pulling out the Four of Swords and being like, hey, maybe you should go take a nap. From your perspective, Sagittarius, we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. And this Eight of Wands represents closure on something that's wrapped up in a nice little bow. It's an ending without a lot of loose ends lying around. It's resolution without conflict or drama or pain. And where it's showing up in the reverse, there could be something that you really strongly want to bring to an end. And it's probably tied up with this Five of Swords in the reverse. Whatever that situation is, it is ending. But I think that you wish it would end sooner, more quickly, and that it would be less messy. And who can blame you? I mean, I would wish that for everyone. Now, from an outsider's perspective, looking in on your situation, Sagittarius, you are showing up strongly within your own energy. So we do have the Temperance card coming out here. And the Temperance card, of course, is about art, mastery, practice, balance. But the kind of balance that is achieved through art, mastery, and practice. Not just the kind of balance that you achieve by really fighting against yourself until it all finally falls into place. So people do see your best traits at this time, Sagittarius, and they see how you're able to capitalize on the best parts of the self moving forward. So here in the future, we have a new beginning with the Ace of Swords. This is a beginning, Sagittarius, that you are gifting to yourself. Ace of Swords is air energy, pure air energy. It's very similar in some ways to the Death card. It can be a little bit like the Tower, but the Tower is kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum from the Ace of Swords, in that the Tower is a lack of control on your part. The Ace of Swords is you seizing control. And I've found that regardless of whether this card shows up in the reverse or in the upright, it indicates that the person is making positive changes in their life. Now, it could be in the reverse in the future because you're not quite sure what you're going to do yet. So that is a possibility. In the hopes and fears, we have the Three of Swords because, of course, we do. At this time, you might be afraid that there's going to be more conflict. You might be afraid of more drama or more heartbreak. I do want to show you this juxtaposition, though. So the Knights are fire energy, and then we had the Knight of Cups in the past. We've got those passions, and we've got the active energy of fire tied up in this. And then the emotions with the water and the cups. So the passions and the emotions and being really wrapped up in that, you're leaving all of that behind. And in the future, you're going to be replacing that with air, logical energy, clear communication. So there might even be things about you, Sagittarius, that have changed within the framework of this particular situation. Now, maybe you've been changed by it. Maybe you would have changed anyway. That's neither here nor there. The important thing is getting this rest, really being true to the self, embracing that mastery. When we get up here to the midheaven, I'm going to read the midheaven and the final outcome kind of simultaneously. You'll see why. The midheaven, we have the Strength card in the reverse. This is your fellow fire sign Leo's card, and that is going to be the result of this period of rest and recuperation. Now, the final outcome card is the Devil. And this is your neighboring sign Capricorn's card, and also has to do with the things that we allow to control us and the things that kind of have their hooks in us for different reasons. There are things we allow to control us, not getting a handle on certain compulsions, not taking active steps with your mental health, not taking active steps in things that could really progress your life in a good way. And then the Devil also represents things like illness, like addiction, which is a form of illness, which is not necessarily under people's control. The baser parts of our nature and how we overcome them is what we look at with the Devil card. So it's very interesting that here in the midheaven, we have the Strength card. It's in the reverse. The potential is there for it to flip, to be upright. So right now, the future is uncertain. Are you going to have the strength to move forward? Or are you going to give up somehow? And that might be why this Ace of Swords is coming out in the reverse in the future, too. The positive actions that you are going to take in your life. What does that look like? How capable are you? How capable do you feel? You already are in the perfect position to be putting yourself forward in that way. And it's just going to stand to see how that comes together. Because we do have this card about legacy wealth here, the 10 of Pentacles. The closing of a financial cycle, but also the completion of that cycle, the fulfillment of that cycle, right? And because the Strength card is in the midheaven, it's the result of this rest and relaxation. So there might be certain physical training that's going into this for you. There might be dietary changes. There might be all kinds of things that are tied up in that. So that is going to conclude the Sagittarius reading for this week. And now I'm going to go over to the members side of the channel, and I'm going to do some crystal scrying. We like to hang out over there. If you want to join us, you are cordially invited. But your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. So I want to thank all of you for coming out for the live stream today, near and far. And I hope that you have an excellent week. I will see you again very, very soon.